Alright, I am back for this 5th episode of running Cultist Simulator, kind of casually. So, let's see here. We just finished a vault up, we got all kinds of books, we've learned Fucine, we're in the process of learning Aramaic. Alright, what other vaults do we have down here? So, let's go ahead and just send our voiceless dead through these vaults and find out what places he can do. I'm all about that. And while we're doing that, let's get more people upgraded in our cult. So, well, let's get Slee into the cult at all to begin with. So, I'm kind of being cheeky here. You can use Erudition, because it has Lantern aspect to it, to recruit somebody into your guild. There's no reason to do that, but, you know, just pointing out that you can use different things for different purposes. There is not one path. Slee is a lantern. Oh yeah, that's right. He's another lantern dude. So, lantern people are obviously very useful since I am a lantern cult. So notice I want to try to go higher in the Mansis, but 8 is not enough. I need level 10 aspect to go to the next level of the Mansis. So we'll just go to the, we will just go to the Stag Door. And let's go ahead and start reading some of these books. We got a lot of them to get through. Now I speak Aramaic. Huzzah. Treacherous ground. The earth is hungry. We need lantern to show us the way, or forge to make one. So we have lantern. We have pretty good lanterns, so we will put that in there. And if I'd known that ahead of time, I'd have 2 lantern people in there so that you'd have 10. And then you'd be guaranteed to make it through. But we made it through. Or not guaranteed, but you'd have an even higher chance to make it through. Meh. Alright. Now, these low-level vaults are really easy. Like, there's not a lot you can mess up. Doesn't mean it's impossible, but it's definitely a lot harder to be screwed over very badly in the low-level vaults than it is in the higher-level vaults. Alright, so. Devotion. So, one thing I'm noticing here is I've got this evidence piling up, right? So every time I go through one of these vaults, I get some notoriety, right? And the detective keeps grabbing this notoriety, turning it into evidence. Now, tentative evidence is not that bad. Damning evidence is really not good. When you get damning evidence, they can either grab one of your disciples and get rid of them forever, or they could potentially take you, right? So one of the things I'm going to do, one of the spots in the white door will give you a favor from authority, which can help prevent that eventuality if it does happen. We also have ways of getting rid of evidence, so we can try that. I would rather not use my disciples for this. So here's the thing. The higher level the disciple, the higher the chance that they'll succeed. But there's a quirk with Moth. So the Moth is good at getting rid of evidence. They'll help you get rid of evidence. But whereas every other job will like have a 90% chance if you're a level 10 Moth, you can only ever go up to 70% chance with Moth. So a level 5 is just as good as a level 10 as far as their odds to destroy evidence. So I'm actually going to use this guy because he's a level 6 Moth. And I'm going to talk to him about destroying evidence. So he will try, because he's moth aspected, he will try. And it says he will most likely succeed. You can actually try to have anybody destroy evidence, but if they don't have moth, they're pretty much guaranteed to fail. And it will tell you that. It's like, I don't think this is going to work, Cotton. But you're welcome to try. Okay, so now I'm starting to get something deep mysteries. That means that I have found all the books in the auction house. That every time I go back to the auction house now, I'm always going to get that. So let's not go to the auction house anymore. An abandoned warehouse. The only reason I want to go to the auction house now is to sell things. So I'm actually going to do that right now because I have this Greek book that I don't need. So that book gave me an Unmerciful Mantra and an Ecdysias Parable, which is nice. So my minion has returned. The evidence has been destroyed. Excellent. Now, if they fail, they could die, or they could just get hurt pretty badly. So you do have to be careful about that. But let's go ahead and try to get rid of the other set of evidence as well. There's also another thing you can do. The heart disciples you have, they can try to get rid of like mystique and notoriety, but they can't pick which one they grab. They just grab what they grab. So okay. Also, fascination is more of an end game mechanic. You don't run into a lot of fascination early on in the game, typically. But you can actually, and it's fascination is like if you get 3 fascination, you'll die, just like if you get 3 dread. But you can actually get rid of fascination, kind of like you can with dread, but you have to use fleeting reminiscence instead of what do you call it? Contentment. So, pro tips. Oh, vital pigment. That is a grail aspected pigment. So, one of the things I'll show you here really soon is making masterwork paintings. Nice, I got rid of all the evidence against me. Good. So, if you have a lot of like notoriety or things like that going on, then you want to be careful about just smashing through vaults, right? You don't want to be doing really good and then just die because you were careless. So. Now, I'll try to show you, they're pretty low level right now, so I don't know if they'll actually... So I'm telling her to use Charm. I don't think it's going to be quick enough because this dude's going to pop up. And I think he's going to grab this notoriety before my Charm will. Could be wrong. But I think that's the way it's going to work out. Nope, she got it first. Okay, so Charm, basically the heart aspected followers can try to get rid of it, your reputation, essentially, right? So they'll either get rid of mystique or notoriety, but it didn't work that time. And a lot of times you'll get a peculiar rumor, which... oddly enough, is actually kind of useful. You can just let it die, and there's nothing bad about it. But so he just made more evidence. So I'm actually not going to use this peculiar rumor, but you can actually search a peculiar rumor, and it will help you find another follower much more quickly. But it also creates notoriety. So it's better to just use regular lore and kind of slowly find followers. This will get you them faster, but it's also much more dangerous, right? So let's try to get rid of this. And let's read some books. Kind of trying to get all my shit in one sock here. Wow, this guy's been lucky. Alright. Let's see if we can go to the Mithraeum. Oh, I can't. Okay, so to keep this guy around, I might actually, You can actually just talk straight to him. Summon creatures you could talk to about anything. Now, this is interesting, right? This is what... Sorry. This is why you want to read everything in this game. So this one has aspect Lamp of Loss, right? There's a couple of summoned creatures that have this. And what you can do... I wouldn't recommend it, but you can do this. It will convert a passion to decrepitude. But it will give you a level 6... it will give you a level 6... What do you call it? Knock lore to do it. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do it because I do want to show you how to heal decrepitude at some point. But the thing is, decrepitude always heals back into health. So this is actually an obscure way to convert a passion into a health. Which is kind of odd, right? Actually, no. Actually, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that because I haven't... There's paintings. Oh, wait, no. You only need 4 passion to do that. Yeah, let's go ahead. All right. So we're going to go ahead and convert... Right? So, oh, we got an Ecdesias parable out of that. Bitter atmosphere. We got a decrepitude. Right? So decrepitude is a permanent, well, mostly permanent. Right. And we have this bitter atmosphere. It's a level 10 winter influence. And now, you just talk about nothing. I just think it's kind of cool that you could do stuff like that. Like, you don't use those mechanics very often, but they are there. Right? So that basically was a way for me to get some level 6 moth lore in exchange for some of my passion. Alright, let's oh, I got a heap Stanton. Neat. Let's try to go to this place with this guy and some money. Alright. Let's see, we still have a lot of people we need to upgrade, don't we? So you can upgrade these pawns too, right? They'll actually become slightly useful. They still suck, don't get me wrong, but they suck slightly less. Hidden door. We need lantern or knock to complete this. So the nice thing, hidden door is one of those things you can't really fail. So we'll go ahead and use knock for this. Like if you fail it, nobody gets hurt because you're just trying to find a door. So if you don't find the door, then it's like, well, you didn't find the door. It's like not finding a secret door in D&D. You're not punished for it. You just don't get the goodies. So now we have a practical disciple. So you see, he's a forged disciple, right? So he just has 2 forged that you can use. Not the most useful dude on Earth. But, you know, not completely useless either. Upgrade all these people. So much dread. And one thing I didn't point out too is that dread has aspects too, right? So actually dread has the aspect of edge, so you can actually use that for things. Here we've got 1 done. I want to pick the dread that's the newest to try to get rid of with this contentment. So reading them books. So now, here we sturdy disciple. Nice. Alright, this voiceless dead's gonna go away, so. So we got some notoriety. Right, I think I want to upgrade one of these heart people next, because heart is the easiest aspect in the game, really. It's like the least punishing. Like, if they fail at heart, trying to do heart, it doesn't... There's no punishment for it, essentially. Okay. So, I have a cracked noonstone, which is nice. There's a lot of stuff that I can do right now. I'm trying to not be overwhelming with how much stuff that is possible at this exact moment. Let's just read this book. I'm going to try to get rid of this notoriety. So I'm about to almost die to dread. All right. So I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use I'm going to get to contentment in rapid succession here. And I'm going to use one of them to get rid of this dread. Okay, so all of the followers have things you can talk to them about to get done, right? So I was talking about how I might want to try to get rid of this notoriety. So I'm going to talk to her about it, and you talk to her about the cult and she'll do charm. Which means she'll grab a random reputation and try to deal with it. We need more opium, people. Let the opium flow. So she grabs that notoriety. She's going to try to charm it away. Let's get one more opium. I love that my solution to problems is just more drugs. Oh, this is going to be free contentment, so I actually didn't need that last opium. Alright. It didn't work. She didn't get rid of it, but fortunately, the suspicion isn't going to come up, and this is just going to go away on its own. So here's what I might do. This is some next level strats right here. I'm going to track down a rumor, which is going to give me notoriety. But I'm also going to talk to Dorothy and try to get them to charm. So I might be able to play both sides of this here. And as soon as the notoriety pops up, it might just try to take it. Huzzah. Alright, let's get a vitality for this upcoming sickness. See, so I grabbed the notoriety right out of here, but... And I got a person. This is a forge person, as I recall. So right now, like this stage, I'm just kind of really building up my cult. And it worked, so they got rid of the notoriety. Excellent. So that's gone. Now let's upgrade my cult a little bit. Another thing I can do too is this cracked noonstone, right? So if you read this, noon, as the saying goes, is not what it was. A forge aspected follower could restore it, right? Now, to repair a noonstone, you need iron spin tray, at least. You can use a higher one. But as I've said before, I don't like wasting the higher level stuff for no good reason, right? So, we'll go ahead and get ourselves an iron spin tray by doing this little edge commission that we have here. That cheapy commission. And in the meantime, we'll continue to get people in to the club. So So this is just low-level edge mission. Nothing major going on here. Let's go ahead and level you up. Oops. Maximum level. Well, maximum she can get to. No longer sicky sick. Gonna lose my job. I don't particularly care. Since I'm gonna lose my job, I might as well get some of these other commissions done. Alright, so yeah, she is now Forge. She's a 5th level Forge character here. So let's go ahead and get this done. So I got another iron spin tray, right? So to repair this new stone, so the new stone is an ingredient with 1 aspect lantern, right? Now, it doesn't matter what level of forge they are. It's always the same. They'll always succeed as long as you provide them with what they need. Oh, actually, I don't even think I need spin tray for that. I think I just need money. Oh no, I need to give them the noonstone, obviously. So, yeah, this is a winter tool right here. So, put this over here. Get this crap out of here. So now he needs funds, right? So he actually just needs regular money to repair Doomstone. For some reason I thought it was he needed spin tray for it. The higher level stuff you need spin tray for. But... So now I have an actual Noonstone. So now it's not an ingredient, it's a tool. It's a level 4 lantern tool. Right? So some things in this game you can repair, and that's what Forge people do. They repair stuff. Now, I'm going to show you something really interesting you can do with your painting skill. So, you have these pigments, right? Refulgin is a pigment. This rose pearl dust is a pigment. If you have a high enough aspect of something, you can do some pretty cool stuff. So, for instance, let's finish up this commission that I was working on. I'll keep... And I want that, what you call it back? Fenian invocation back. Okay. So what you can do is you can paint. And to do this properly, you need as much ability and imagination as possible. So use all of your passion, right? You want to have maximized passion skill to do this. For your inspiration, you want to use something that's, I think, at least like level 5 or so. I use as high as possible, so like we'll use 8. So we're going to make a really high level lantern art, right? And now it's like, okay, well, you can make some really cool art with this, right? You get a bunch of cool stuff. But if I use Refulgin for this, all right, so that raises my lantern all the way up to 12. I could get some pretty cool results. Worthy medium, finish, something unique. So I have made a unique painting, right? So if you use a ton, I don't remember the exact numbers, but I think you need to have at least level 5. So like at least like you could paint like your followers. So you could paint a follower who's level 5, or like paint with lore that's level 6 or above. essentially, and you use the aspect of pigment that is that same type. So like I used the lantern pigment with a high level lantern lore and lots of passion to paint, right? Then you can end up creating a painting specifically for that aspect, right? So this is a tool with 8 of that aspect. It's very good. You can only have one of them, so you can only make one. And it does give you a bunch of notoriety for doing it, because the Suppression Bureau sees that, and they're like, yeah, we know what that is. So, it also gives me some lantern influence, which is nice. So now I have a tool of level 8 lantern, right, which is really useful, because if you think about it, I have level 8 lore, I have a level 8 tool, so that's 16, and then my followers are level 5, so that's 21. And I don't know if you remember what I told you a long time ago, but 21 is the amount you need to level your disciples up to the highest level. So if we use this guy and that guy, we have 21 lantern, which is enough to exalt a disciple to a seer. So only the people who are of the same aspect as your cult can do this. Right? So you need lantern people can exalt to the highest level in a lantern cult. Even if you could reach 21 without, for the other people, they still can't advance that high. So now, I have a seer. He has 10 aspect, right? Which is pretty awesome. And because I have the painting, I can do this for all 3 of them really easily. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it. We'll just get all of them to max level. So, I think those paintings are pretty cool. I think a lot of people go through this game and they never realize that you can do that. So, for instance, we can do it again. Let's do it with heart. Alright, so we have our passion back, right? So let's do that. We have a waking chant, which is pretty high heart lore, level 6 heart lore. Some evidence building up, that's not great. And we have this pigment. Right, that gives us level 10. Something unique. So when it says something unique, that means you succeeded. And we've got the Sister and Witch, which is level 8 heart art. Heart art. So yeah, these things are useful. Useful to have. But yeah, the downside right now is that I have generated a lot of notoriety for doing this. So I'm actually going to, for the end of this episode, I think I'm going to try to address that problem. So let's go ahead and raise... She's already a disciple, so I can use her actually. Let's just use Dorothy to try to get rid of some of this notoriety. Because I already have tentative evidence, so we'll try to burn through the notoriety first, and then we'll worry about the evidence afterwards. So as long as we don't do anything that generates more notoriety, right, we should be okay. I'm glad I grabbed that one. Optimism is the spice which saves. Indeed it is. So she got rid of one of them. This one will just fade away on its own. Hopefully she'll get rid of this other one. If we're lucky. Which is good, because here comes a season of suspicion. So it would be ideal if she... What the deuce? Yeah, the game does that sometimes. Sometimes things get caught up and they just bounce around. It's a little annoying. So, nice, she got rid of it. Cool. So, he's not going to find any new stuff, but he is going to review the evidence that he's already got, right? So he's going to not find any clues, review the evidence he already has, and then he should just return it as tentative evidence, because he didn't find anything. Some of the other hunters can do some different stuff. They have some aspects where they can sometimes just generate evidence out of nowhere. But not typically this dude. Now, I could just try to get rid of this evidence. But I don't typically like to do that. Because if they fail, they can get hurt. Right? So, and I don't want to get my people hurt if I can avoid it. So unless I can find somebody who's moth aspected as a follower, or unless I can summon one, I suppose I could summon a dead again, right? We could do it that way. What was it we used? We got a reminiscence. Some winter. Oh, you need a corpse for that. I think I need edge. Yeah, I don't have anything to get that dude right now. So I'm actually just going to let this fade out, I think. Like I said, you don't need to push it necessarily, right? So. Very substantial. I don't have very substantial, but what I do have 2 edge level 4, and those require practical experimentation, which means you need to cut yourself. This is actually the easiest one to do. So we'll go ahead and just upgrade that real quick while we're waiting for this to die out on us. Get our job back. So for this one, you can just use your own health. Now, the thing is, if you injure yourself, you can just heal it, so it's not really a big deal. Which you might, but it doesn't really matter very much, so. And let's try to get a couple more people into our cult. So now we have a level 6 edge. Now that we have a HQ with a pit, right? That's the one that we are in. So I know I mentioned that a long time ago, but Grim Lesson is the HQ with the pit. So, and House Violet is a pit. Well, I think that's a good spot to end this episode. We got 55 seconds. Actually, I'll just let this evidence run out. We got 55 seconds left on the evidence. So I'll let that run out, and then I'll pause the recording and move on to the next one. Let that contentment get nommed up. Here we go. All right.